Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Bright Spots. I am so excited that you have decided to join us this evening for a few minutes of relaxation, inspiration, and maybe we'll even learn something. It's been a beautiful day here in the Ohio Valley, and we're getting ready for some cooler fall weather. It has been rather warm. We've had an Indian summer, which is okay, right? We'll take those warm days because we know that the snow is going to fly soon, right? Well, I am excited about our guest this evening. She was with us at the end of the season in May when we had our panel discussion with single parents. And she wanted to come back on the show and talk a little bit about the work that she is doing. So let me tell you a little bit about our guest. Paula M. Kramer, is a #1 international best-selling author and international speaker. She presents online workshops to help women and men take more control in the workplace with strategies to end negative gossip and break glass ceilings. She provides guides for understanding the stereotypes behind negative gossip and glass ceilings in her private Facebook group, End Negative Gossip and Break glass ceilings. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the Bright Spot studio, Miss Paula M. Kramer. Hey, Paula.
Hey, Laurie, it's wonderful to be back with you.
Well, it is wonderful to have you back in the Bright Spot studio. So, tell us a little bit about your work. We talked a lot about your life in our episode in May, but we really didn't get into the work that you're doing. So, how did you get into the work that you're doing? And just tell us about that journey a little bit.
I have two online directories, Better Planet Business and My Record Now. Better Planet Business came out of my own difficulties being successful as a small business owner. I decided to create as much success I could for other small businesses because I've learned in the past that creating success for other people is probably the best way to be successful. So I created Better Planet Business to promote small businesses that donate money to charities and nonprofits. I promote them, actively promote them online, on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and I give people reasons to buy from them. When they make donations, I do a promotion. Doesn't matter how many donations they make right now because the directory is still small. But I do promotions. You're not just listed on a directory. I put your name in a post on LinkedIn and in a post on Facebook, and they get shared. So people find out more about you. And I have an artist on my directory, Atelier Vermeil Studios 2, who has gotten visits from Europe to his website after I do a donation promotion. So you could get visits from around the world, apparently. I don't know where everybody else's visits are coming from, but he gets visits from Europe.
So tell us how that works. So I'm a small business
Right,
and I want to list on betterplanetbusiness.com.
right.
So I, the business, make a donation to charity. Is that how that
Well,
works?
first you become a member of betterplanetbusiness.com. It's $99 a year, but you get all that extra promotion. Your profile includes 4 photographs and 2 videos, which you can change as often as you want. And I have a member who makes videos who won an award. So she put her award winning information on her profile, and I did a did a special promotion for her because she won an award for what she does. So you become a member, you put information on, you have a promotional message that I put in the post when I promote you, and then you have a description of your business, which can be as long as you like or as short as you like, and you can have the videos and the photographs. When you make a donation, you upload a receipt and I post it so that everybody who comes to the directory and looks at each profile can see how much a business donated and the donation category. I don't name specific charities and nonprofits because they don't like their names used in that. They consider it marketing. They don't like that. So I use donation categories, as in homelessness, international aid, just restorative justice, along those lines. Those are the categories. And you get promotions.
And
I,
why is that
I
important, Paula?
promote well because it's
And
important
why
because, pardon, it, it's important because
yeah, I was just asking why it was important.
tooting your own horn can backfire on you. So I'll toot your horn for you. You're doing good things for the planets, and I'll toot your horn. There's something
Okay.
else I want to discuss in relation to Better Planet Business, unless you have more questions about the directory itself.
Nope, go right ahead.
Okay, all right. We need to be Better Planet buyers, people who buy from businesses that are socially responsible. But we also need to be Better Planet donators. We need to donate to charities and nonprofits that are effective at what they do. Otherwise, they are wasting our money. And I want to give you specific examples so you know what to look for. I read a dissertation in grad school decades ago that has changed my thinking about charities and nonprofits and how to approach issues. The dissertation was about how pro choice leaders and pro life leaders talk to followers. I'm not going to say anything about whether abortion should be legal or illegal. I'm going to talk about what makes an organization like that effective and what makes them ineffective, so you know what to look for, so your money is used properly the way you want it. Minnesota Concerned Citizens for Life tells its followers that they need to take action every single day of their lives to save babies. They say if you do have only 5 minutes to take action for 5 minutes. They provide information, they provide ideas for what action to take, and every fall they do a fall tour where they tour the state of Minnesota and do training sessions for anybody who wants to attend. They provide information, they provide strategies, and then they tell their supporters to go out and take action. Some of the action listed in the dissertation I read included designing Christmas cards, crocheting and knitting, bake sales to raise money, selling all these things to raise money for the cause. Some of the people wrote poems that got published in newspapers and wrote songs that got sung on radios. Each person did what they could do using their talents to make a difference. The National Organization for Women, on the other hand, tells its followers to send money. And it says it will use the money to make it possible for the people they identify as activists to go out and protect their side of the story, reproductive rights, choice. They say that they'll use the money to go to court and to legislatures to keep abortion legal. They never say work with someone else in this way, connect with other members of the organization. They never say that. I know about these because beyond reading the dissertation, I follow Minnesota Concerned Citizens for Life on social media, and I am signed up for a National Organization for Women emails. So I get information about them all the time because I've been tracking this since I read that dissertation. It was a fascinating dissertation. The National Organization for Women continually asks for money. They never, ever give any training to any of their followers. They claim to have hundreds of thousands of members around the country. Their campaigns to raise money are typically to raise $25,000. If they have hundreds of thousands of members and each member gave $1, they'd have hundreds of thousands of dollars. The National Organization for Women cannot even persuade its own members to donate money. How are they going to persuade legislatures and courts to keep abortion legal? And if you pay attention to current events, you'll see that the pro life side has succeeded far beyond anything the national organization, the pro choice side, has done. So you look for participation of the followers. And when you donate to local charities in your county, look for the charities, nonprofits that encourage people to work together. They're on Better Planet Business. I have a resources page where I list articles, and I have articles there about this, about local activism from nonprofits. Nonprofits that are locally active can reduce crime in the county, in that area. When the nonprofits clean up, if there's a violent event, they clean up after the event. When they build playgrounds for kids, when they mentor kids, and when they employ young men, the crime rate goes down. And it's local people working together. When Minnesota Concerned Citizens for Life tells its members to do whatever they can, they often end up working together, as in selling Christmas cards and knitted things and crocheted things and baked goods. They're working together. Local nonprofits that work together, encourage working together, can also keep a county economically resilient in difficult financial times. The 5 characteristics of local nonprofits or civic engagement that protect a county in difficult financial times are attending meetings, registering to vote, voting, volunteering, and working with neighbors to solve local problems. More of the working together. Though ordinary local people coming together to work together produce far more effective results than a national organization saying, send us money.
Yeah. So folks, as you're listening, Paula is giving you some wonderful advice about partnering with local nonprofits that actually engage their members in making a
Right.
difference in their
Mhm.
communities. So that's what you want to look for when you are looking for a nonprofit to partner with, to support, either with your gifts, your talents, or your resources. So,
Right.
Paula, that's wonderful advice. And you can find out more about what Paula is doing at betterplanetbusiness.com. So, Paula, you have another
Right.
website,
I
which
have
is
another one. My
My
record,
Record Now. So,
my
tell us
record now.
about that.
This one was born out of a conversation I had on my front lawn. There's a restorative justice organization in the city I live near, and they have a nonprofit that repairs bicycles and gives ex-offenders job skills. They work at this organization, they repair bikes, they learn how to show up, they learn how to keep a schedule, they learn a skill. I called and had said, I have these bicycles you can pick up. And the man who works with the ex-offenders, well, he works with the people who are not going to prison because they are doing the restorative justice route. He came and picked it up, and we started this conversation that we then continued in his office for a long time until he unfortunately died very young. But he told me that the mugshots people get when they go to prison cause serious excuse me, cause serious problems for people because they're a negative identity. And I have lived with a negative identity since the day I was born, unfortunately. So I could relate. The day I was born, my mother stereotyped me as a threat and taught the stereotypes to everyone in my family, our neighbors. I've lived with negative stereotypes. Excuse me. So I felt for these people with mugshots, and I thought about it, and I told the man, his name was Kurt. I said to Kurt that he should create a directory. I had accidentally discovered how to get on the first page of Google for myself in my early 60s, no less. And I told him, if you set up the directory this way, you can give positive online identities to people with mugshots. He liked the idea, but he said, I want you to do it. So that's how My Record Now was born. It gives positive identities to people with mugshots. People need positive identities to be able to succeed. There's a lot of talk about people being responsible for your own life, but it's difficult to be responsible if you don't have a positive identity. And I'm a perfect example. Because of this, I grew up with the stereotypes from my own family. When I was 12 years old, a boy in school pulled my chair out from under me. I landed hard on my tailbone, injuring my spine. Medical professionals misdiagnosed my injury for 33 years. I was in extreme pain after perhaps 15 years. The pain just kept getting worse. But it's invisible pain. Nobody could see it. So people didn't believe I had the pain. I was stereotyped for that because they didn't believe I had pain. And my husband died when our daughter was a baby. So I was a single parent with a bad back, and I got stereotyped as a single parent. So I had stereotypes for 3 different reasons. I didn't go to college when I was 18 because my mother would have chosen where I went to college and what I took, and I needed to get away from her. I didn't start college till later on. After my husband died, I considered going to college, But I remembered all those negative identities, and I actually thought to myself that American society would not allow me to succeed in college. My husband died so young that the Social Security benefits my daughter and I got were too little to live on. We got food stamps and medical assistance, and the food stamps were not enough to get us through the month. I started writing letters to the editor about poverty issues and got a lot of terrible feedback. One woman accused me of hiding behind my daughter and looking for free handouts. But I also got some support. But I kept writing the letters. And then one day the phone rang and I answered it. And I typically cry when I tell a story. I had recently had a letter in the paper about poverty. The woman called and asked, "Are you the Paula Kramer who wrote the letter to the newspaper?" And having no idea what to expect, I said yes. And she asked, "Is there anything I could do to help?" That woman and her family spent about 14 months giving my daughter and me positive identities. I'd never felt a positive identity like that before. My father loved me for who I was, but he died when my daughter was still a baby. He died a year and a half after my husband died. And my mother browbeat him into becoming an alcoholic, so he wasn't capable of doing much for me, but he did love me. But I never got quite the positive identity from anybody else as I did from that woman and her family. And because of that woman and her family, I decided I could go to college and succeed. And I did go to college. I have 2 degrees. And I'm here on the show talking to you about choosing the right kind of nonprofits and charities to donate to. They didn't tell me to go to college. They just gave me a positive identity. I decided I could go to college because I had that positive identity. I could take responsibility for my life because other people gave me a positive identity. That's what I'm trying to do with ex-offenders. But not everybody who has a mugshot deserves a mugshot. So not everybody on my directory is an ex-offender or a convict. And when you have a profile on the directory, it is private. The man who created this directory is an ex-offender himself. He set it up so that nobody could go to the directory and look through who's on it. Nobody can see who's on it. The only way you see a profile is by doing a search for a name and the words mugshot, arrest record, or criminal. That's the only way you find the directory, the profile. When you find the profile, it shows positive things. Instead of a mugshot, it shows a now shot, meaning a photograph of their life now, not just their face, but of their life. And it gives positive identity, meaning positive information about their education, their background, their volunteering, their hobbies. It gives positive identities to people who need positive identities so they can live positive lives.
So, Paula, this is the home page of your
That's the
website.
homepage of the directory, right?
And this is where folks can come if there's anyone watching who is interested in rebuilding your identity out there so that you can highlight the positives and instead of the negatives. This is where you go, and this is myrecordnow.com.
That's right.
Okay. So, Paula, you also have another website, another project that you are doing, and you have got to be a busy woman. Tell us about speakingfromtriumph.com.
Well, speaking from Triumph, the full name of my business, my LLC, is Speaking from Triumph Over Tragedy because I've survived 3 tragedies. I've overcome 3 tragedies: my childhood, my back injury, my spinal injury, and my husband's death when my daughter was a baby. And I write about all the things that I found helped me triumph over those strategies. I provide all kinds of resource information on my website. Resources about gossip, about the 26 ingredients for spectacular success. When I was in grad school, I wrote a book about small groups, about shaping small groups to succeed as an independent study project. And while I was writing that book and taking courses to learn how to shape groups to succeed, I was participating in the world's largest and most successful renewable energy fair. And I had learned a lot about how to shape groups to succeed, but I didn't understand the success of this particular fair, how they created it. So I made a documentary and discovered the 26 ingredients for spectacular success: situational, organizational, financial, emotional, and relationship ingredients. When I started looking at other spectacular successes around the world, I discovered that all of them, every single one of those successes, Southwest Airlines, Toastmasters, Toyota, the Underground Railroad, Martha Stewart, it's a wide range. They all use most, if not all, of those ingredients. I define spectacular success as the unforeseen success other people create for you, intentionally create for you, because you intentionally create success for them. And I provide examples on my website of those spectacular successes and the paths they took. Every single of those spectacular successes took a different path to their spectacular success. So I haven't found the same path anywhere yet looking at spectacular successes. It's amazing how many different ways you can take to get to spectacular success. That's my website.
So this is the homepage for
Right.
speakingfromtriumph.com.
Right.
So walk us through this. What are we looking at here?
Well, we're looking at my attempt to give you all kinds of other choices for success. I have had such a horrific life that I want to make life easier for other people. And so I give people options. And you can see I had a showdown with the Chicago mob when I was 20, no less. I faced down top Chicago mobsters and walked away from it alive.
So, as an author, you have written about some of these experiences in your life, correct?
In that book, I write about the 3 tragedies of my life and the stereotypes because of them, and how I managed to be resilient. I can't hear you, Laurie.
Sorry, I was muted. You have a lot, folks. You have a lot to learn from Miss Paula Kramer. She has 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 websites. She has
another one. I haven't told you about the other one. It's smilesparksuccess.com.
Oh, well, you're coming back in January, right? Or next year, you're coming back in season 4. So
in March. I'm coming back in March.
Okay, we're gonna have to save something for then, right? You'll have to share with us by then. You could have 7 websites by then at the rate it's going.
I have another book coming out in February, so I wanted to talk about the topic of that book because I am bound and determined to change the world in positive ways. Positivity promoter me.
Wonderful.
Smilesparksuccess.com helps you create better relationships, both professionally and personally.
So we have Better Planet Business. Go there and look through the list of nonprofits that you,
Small
the
businesses. No, look for the
small
list of small
businesses.
businesses that donate charities and nonprofits.
There we go. There we go.
Right.
And then My Record Now
Uh-huh.
for individuals who want to promote the positive that has happened in their lives as opposed and build positive identities. You also have a Facebook group. Let's talk on that just for a moment. End negative gossip and break glass ceilings.
Right.
What do you do in this Facebook group?
I try to give people the mindset to understand how stereotypes affect their lives. Most people have no idea how many stereotypes other people use about them. No idea. I've been collecting stereotypes since I wrote my master's thesis in the 90s, and I have hundreds of them. And it's astonishing how many stereotypes people can use about us. But we can't do anything about the stereotypes until we know what the stereotypes are. So I'm trying to help people understand the stereotypes, plus stereotype situations, plus how bystanders affect our success or failure. And there's gossip cells where people have grouped together to share this similar gossip. And there are not only are there lots of stereotypes about us, but there are similar stereotypes and there are opposite stereotypes about us. We have opposite stereotypes about us.
Wow. And how does one join this group? Is it
you just go and ask to join? It's a free group, but
okay.
You just ask to join, and then you're in it. And I'm trying to work with Facebook. I can't always. I've had trouble uploading the PDF files, so I've had to. So currently, there's also a link to a private page of my website for some of the information. But as soon as I can get all the PDF files in the group, I will. All the information is available. But right now, as we speak, some of you have to go to the private webpage to see some of it because Facebook just won't let me upload all of it right now.
Okay. And do you go live in there?
Well, I'm creating videos. I just finished a video explaining overall ending negative gossip and increasing collaboration. I'm going to create a separate video for each of the guides telling stories from my life. So I am working on one now, telling stories from my life about the stereotypes people have used about me, so that people begin to understand what they can do to end the stereotypes, so that people see the real you instead of the stereotypes.
Very good. Very good. Well, folks, tonight's guest has been Paula M. Kramer, and she has an incredible story, her life, how she has turned negative influences into a positive outcome is just truly remarkable. Paula, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I can't wait for you to come back in March and tell us about your new book and your new websites that you will undoubtedly have developed by then.
Actually, I am on another one.
Folks, be sure you check out speakingfromtriumph.com, betterplanetbusiness.com, myrecordnow.com, and run on over and join End Negative Gossip and Break Glass Ceilings Facebook group that Paula Kramer has active right now. You can go over there and find out some really great stuff. Paula, it has been a pleasure. I've enjoyed our time together, and I wish you the very best in all of your endeavors.
Thank you very much, Lori. It's been wonderful.
Have a great night.
You too.
Well, folks, that ends another episode of Bright Spots. We are at the bottom of the hour, a little past the bottom of the hour, but we have had a great time this evening with Miss Paula Kramer. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Be sure and join us again next week for another episode of Bright Spots. Until then, God bless you, be safe, and keep shining your light.